maximum effective range of over 50 yards. Although it may not have had great range, it had great stopping power. This made it the sidearm of choice for our troops during World War II. The American military had thought it was so effective, they had produced over 2.7 million 1911 pistols during World War II. I will now demonstrate this handgun. Please put your hearing protection in. Ladies and gentlemen, the M1911 A1 45 caliber semi-automatic pistol.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Gunnery Sergeant Monroe. I have here the M1 carbine. Back in 1938, the U.S. government decided, well, the M1 Garand's a little bit heavy and that 1911's a little bit light. We need something in between. And this was it. It was hoped that Ed Browning would come through, but he passed away, and Winchester Rifle came up with the design. But during the war effort, things were so hard. We had companies such as International Business Machine, IBM, Underwood Typewriter, Rockola Jukebox, General Motors making M1 carbines for the military. By the end of the war, 1945, 6.5 million carbines were made, 500,000 more than all the M1 Garands. The only thing was, this thing had one drawback. It didn't have the range of the Garand. It only fired a maximum effective range of 250 meters. But it had a 15-round box magazine. In fact, I have on me right now 5 times more ammunition than an M1 Garand carrying soldier Marine. Now, one of the things, this weapon did have great power in its use. Now I see some Navy men over here that will love this story of one of my heroes. During World War II, at Saipan and Tarawa, a lieutenant junior grade who drove one of those at Tarawa saved the lives of 70 Marines. He ended up getting the Bronze Star with V for Valor. His name, Eddie Albert. Yeah, Green Acres is so much. Well, that's another story. That was after the war. But yes, Eddie Arnold, a sailor, received the Bronze Star with V for Valor, which is something very rare indeed for a Navy man. Now, I'm going to demonstrate this weapon for you, which is shoulder held. So go ahead, put your ears in. Ladies and gentlemen, the M1 carbine at 5.5 pounds. Thank you.
This is my rifle. There are many like it, but this one is mine. My rifle is my best friend. It is my life. My name is Gunnery Sergeant Jim Rice, United States Marine Corps retired, and I'm here to talk to you about the rifle US 30 caliber M1. After the First World War, many countries tried to develop a semi-automatic rifle, and that's what the M1 is. The rifles those other countries developed were either too heavy, too unreliable, or they just wouldn't work right. John C. Garand, with the help of the Winchester Company, gave us the M1 rifle. It is semi-automatic. It's similar to the 1903 Springfield in that it fires a powerful 30-06 cartridge, but it does have various improvements. Sight radius is very long. You're able to hit a man-sized target at over 5 football fields with these sights without a scope. The trigger now houses the safety. So when you take the safety off, you fire your target and your finger never has to leave the trigger guard to take that safety off. Like I said, it's made the powerful 30-06 cartridge from an 8-round end block clip. To load it, the action is pulled to the rear, the end block clip is placed at the top like that, and the rounds are pressed down and the bolt's at home. It's now ready to fire. And an end block clip, by the way, like I said, holds 8 rounds. Let's see what it looks like in action. Put your ears in.
Gentlemen, demonstrate your peace.
Now you'll notice that they have each fired 5 rounds. That's the number of rounds that the 1903 Springfield had. That's also the number of rounds that were carried in the Arasaka, the weapon of our enemy. In the fighting in the South Pacific, like Guadalcanal, could be very close and personal. At nighttime, that enemy might be only yards away. Well now, all those Marines landed on Guadalcanal in 1903. Later on, the Army landed to reinforce them, and the Marines found out what a fine weapon it was. They acquired many of these from the Army. Now we've got the M1, and we have 3 more rounds. Show them what you got left. And that's going to make a big difference in that fighting in the South Pacific. General George S. Patton called this the greatest battle implement ever devised. The M1 was the reason in World War II why a lot of young American boys were coming home and German and Japanese ones weren't. M1.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is the top of the submachine gun, caliber 45 M1, otherwise known as the Tommy gun. First gained notoriety in the hands of gangsters like Al Capone, lawmen like Elliot Ness during the 1920s, often called the gun that made the 20s roar. The recoil-operated, air-cooled, magazine-fed submachine gun firing a 45 caliber automatic full pistol round. Because it fires a pistol round, it has a short effective range, 50 yards. But in the brutal close combat of the South Pacific, the jungle, in urban areas in Europe, is a prized weapon among infantry and elite assault units, like the Marines, airborne, and ranger units. It's heavy at 11 pounds. That keeps down the muzzle rise from its tremendous rate of fire, 800 rounds per minute. Ladies and gentlemen, put your ears in. Ladies and gentlemen, the top of the submachine gun.
The BAR, Browning automatic rifle. Adopted in 1918, it is a World War I vintage, but its superior firepower and effectiveness will become invaluable in the jungles of the South Pacific. It's good for 3 things. It is fully automatic. You have a machine gun right here, folks. Number 2, it fires a powerful 30-06 round like the Springfield and M1. And number 3, it's penetration. Heavy barrel of BAR, you can use what's called black tip armor piercing rounds. And if you've got enough of them, you can penetrate thin-skinned vehicles, concrete bunkers, bamboo huts, doesn't matter, it's going to go through it. Outstanding weapon here. In fact, the Marine Corps loved it so much that in 1942, they only had 2 BARs per squad. But in 1944, naval organizations changed. You added 3 more BARs. Thus, you have 3 4-man fire teams. Each fire team had a BAR in their hands. It is 47 inches in length, weighs in at 19 pounds, by upon and carrying handle included. It is air-cooled. You fire it from the open bolt position, thus air can enter the breech in the barrel. When this weapon is loaded, it's got a maximum effective range of 600 yards, which basically means if you can see them, you can get them
because you fired the BAR from the rear side letter lead from the front side blade. It's only as good as your eyes. Cyclic rate, firing rate, approximately 500 rounds per minute. As I said, it will spit out the lead, folks. It is magazine fed. I carry 12 20-round box magazines, as you see here, inserted from the bottom. It is gas operated. What gas operation means? Simple. When the bullet goes down the barrel, excess force is called gas, enters this tube right here, pushes down the gas piston, compresses the recoil spring, drives the operating slide to the rear, and you've got a cycle of operations, guys. It's really simple. Unlocking, extracting, injecting, tempering, feeding, cocking, locking, and firing. That's simple, right? Shoulder fire. In training, you're required to fire 3 different ways: sitting, kneeling, and using the bipod and butt hinge blade in the prone position, where the BAR is most stable and effective. You're also taught the assault position, off the hip, underneath the armpit. All right, you people. The moment you've been waiting for is arrived. Now, this gentleman you see behind me is my A gunner. Check out the bandolier on his shoulder. I need additional ammo, and his job is to provide me with that, cover fire, and range adjustment. But his job, if I go down in the field and become a casualty, he's your new BAR man. All right, guys. I've got a little something I want to show you on this. On the receiver, got a selector switch right here. Got 2 letters on it designating how fast I can shoot this rifle. 2 speeds. One says F, the other says A. F is fast. A. Awful fast. Oh, come on, that's funny. You know it. All right. Get on. I got him!
Every time.
All right, ladies and gents, before I go, I want to leave you all with this. When I was 9 years old, I met a World War II veteran. His name was Ben Parrish. He was in the U.S. 2nd Infantry Division, U.S. Army. Served in Normandy, Battle of the Bulge, and he went on to the end of the war, Czechoslovakia. I love this man. He was a great gentleman. And I wish every one of you could have met him. Great guy. But he passed away 3 years ago. Now his stories and his memories, they're in the history books now. But they will always be. Ladies and gentlemen, if you get nothing else out of this program, I ask you to get one thing. Our World War II veterans, we are very honored to have a great number of them here today. But they are dying at 1,000 per day. And soon they'll all be gone. It is our job, as those who passed down this legacy to us. We must honor these men and remember them the way they should be honored and remembered. And the one thing I ask you guys yet, thank the veterans for what they've done for you. Because I guarantee you, if it wasn't for men and women just like these folks, who stood up, raised their right hand, swore an oath to defend this country from all of our enemies, we would not be standing here today as free men and women. Browning automatic rifle. Hoorah! Hoorah!
So far, all the weapons we've talked about this morning have been personal or individual weapons and silenced. So does everyone feel like getting into something a little heavier? Yeah. Let's do that. What you see this Marine behind me carrying is the Browning 1919 A4 30 caliber medium machine gun. Fairly light weapon. It only weighs 30 pounds. And so it is conceivable that one Marine could move around the battlefield and employ this weapon. But because of the other associated gear that goes with it, such as the tripod, traversing and elevating mechanism, ammunition, the combined weight of this total weapon system is over 50 pounds. That puts it in another category. It is a crew served weapon. Instead of one guy having to do all that, he'll have a crew of men. The 1984 is air-cooled and recoil operated. It is fully automatic and belt-fed, either from a disintegrating metal link belt like this, or a cloth belt, which is fed into the left side of the weapon. As the weapon fires, the empty cartridges are expelled out the bottom, the expended links are shot out the right side. Let's see what she looks like in action, shall we? All right.
Machine gun team, deploy your weapon.
What you see passing before your eyes right now is a four-man machine gun team. First two men out are riflemen. Their job is to guard them on the move, protect their flanks, and also carry more ammunition. The third man out is the gunner carrying the tripod. The gunner is going to select where to put that tripod so his fields of fire are most effective. The last man out is the assistant gunner, or a gunner. Once the tripod is in place, he'll lay the gun on the tripod and then roll to the side. Thereafter, he'll assist at loading, clearing any stoppages, and also help the gunner find and range targets. In combat, in the assault, the job of this team is to put fire on the enemy positions over the heads of our advancing troops, or maybe to the flank. What they're going to do is make the enemy keep his heads down. That's called suppressive fire, or suppression. And also, hopefully, inflict as many casualties as possible on those enemy troops before our assault troops have to close in and finish the job. Get your ears on, see what we got.
Machine gun team, demonstrate your peace.
Now the barrel of this weapon itself, just the barrel, weighs about 10 pounds. It's meant to take that sustained pounding as long as you supply it with that belted variety of ammunition. The effective range of this gun system is over 1,200 yards. And the reason it's effective at that range is not because every round is inherently that accurate, but folks, here we're talking about accuracy through volume. We're going to put rounds on target, we're going to wreck some stuff.
Machine gun team, prepare to display. Display.
There goes riflemen, keeping them safe. Good job, riflemen. Okay, now, you recall you saw the PAR, which is a light machine gun. You saw the 1984 just now, which is a medium machine gun. And everyone affiliated with the military knows if you've got a piece of gear that's light and another one that's medium, you're going to also have one that is heavy. So if you direct your attention to the pedal mounts on the Jeep that stays left, what you see mounted there is the Browning M2 50 caliber heavy machine gun. Very similar to its smaller because in some respects it is air-cooled and recoil operated. It is belt-fed and fully automatic. There, the similarities end. This gun, the gun itself, weighs over 70 pounds. So although you can move it around with a crew of men, more typically you will find it mounted on vehicles, aircraft, and boats. Its job in combat is to destroy the enemy vehicles, aircraft, and boats, as well as pretty much anything you pointed at it, out to a range of 2,000 yards and beyond. If you look around an average city block, you will not find anything on that city block to hide from the 50 caliber behind. It'll easily penetrate logs, rocks, trees, cars, trucks, dirt embankments. Whatever you start shooting at with 50 caliber will soon look like this piece of armor plate that has big holes in it, which I invite you to look at after the show. Keep little ones painted out of those for sharp. Get sharp. Another point of difference I'd like to point out. You remember that 30 caliber ammunition we saw a minute ago? There's that 30 caliber 30-06 ammunition. There's your 50. Side-by-side comparison, and that's what gives it its destructive power. All right, let's see what she'll do. Adopted in 1921 as an anti-tank weapon, the M50 caliber machine gun, also affectionately known as Maud Deuce, can still be found someplace today in almost exactly the same configuration. In some place you may have heard of, like Afghanistan, used by your U.S. troops today. It's that good. And there you have some of your crew served weapons, the 1984 and the heavy 50.